Welcome back to the Shoot from the Hip podcast. It's the day after Father's Day.
Yes, it is. Happy Father's Day.
Belated Father's Day.
Yes. We almost did. We almost did another countdown and a shout there, but I decided to nix that.
I'm glad you did.
Yeah, you're welcome. So happy
It wasn't
Father's
great
Day.
the first time we did it.
Happy Father's Day to all you fathers out there. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll just leave it at that.
Hope it was a good day.
That's about
all we
it.
got for the podcast.
That's what dads do. They're like, oh
All right,
yeah,
guys, have a good day. Bye.
Happy Father's Day.
I covered my bases.
Yep. Hey, we don't need a lot of pomp and circumstance for
if
that.
it was okay, if we didn't have wives, we wouldn't buy any people gifts, would we?
I wouldn't remember when anyone's birthday
That's
is,
true.
so the
Yeah.
gifts wouldn't even matter.
That's granted. I'm not like a gifts guy. Yeah, I guess if we start talking about love languages or whatever, I'm not a gifts guy.
What is your love language, Matt?
Oh, that's
Let's
a
get
great
serious.
question.
What did you like to know?
Well, he is single.
Yeah. Wait, whoa.
Took a turn for the worse.
Yeah, wow. That turned against me.
Back to manly things
So
like fathers.
yeah, so Father's Day. So today we have a special Father's Day podcast. We're going to be talking about things that Dad said. We're going to be doing a very fatherly thing, like where in the world is Lancer, but
We'll explain
get to
later.
that.
Yeah.
And then we're going to do some dad jokes. Because hey, what is life without
I
dad
feel like
jokes?
I'm on an island when it comes to my family members and the dad jokes because I'm all about them.
Oh yeah.
And like everyone in my family, well, for the most, except for me and my dad,
You know why? Because you're dad.
because I'm a dad.
The
Yeah,
only dad
Like,
in
these are
here.
these are
Isn't that
hilarious.
always how that works?
Aaron,
it's
did
always a cringe
Everyone else is like,
thing.
nah,
Yeah, no, yeah.
they're not.
Aaron, did you have a good Father's Day yesterday?
I did. I had a great Father's Day, and boys treated me real well.
That's
Wife
good.
was good to me, so life's
good.
great.
That's
Yeah,
good.
I'm
Glad to hear that.
happy and enjoying life. Another year in the books.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's funny.
So we wanted to kick this off with things that Dad said, and I don't know if you guys did funny things that Dad said. I did not do funny things because Dad said funny things, but they were usually in the moment. I did things that Dad said that were either like pithy or interesting.
I love using the word pithy.
Pithy.
It sounds like something you would find in the middle of an orange, or not, or like the pits or whatever, or in a peach or something like that.
Pithy.
It sounds like something you got to dust and clean off, like, to me. I don't know what that
Clean the
means.
pithy.
Yeah. Get this pithiness out of here.
We need to do another hater great words.
Yeah, pithy's a great. I use it all the time. and
Pithy is
people,
a good-
People kind of look at me sometimes. I'm like,
I like
it's
pithy.
legit.
Yeah.
I don't have a lisp.
I like words in general. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, pithy.
pithy.
Words are good. They let us talk and such.
I know words.
That's not something that Dad said.
The best words, the greatest
I
words
know
I
words.
know. I know all the words. All right. So things that our dads used to say.
Yeah.
Let's start by saying this. There's probably nobody that has more sage wisdom that's unnecessary a lot of times than dads. Dads have this amazing ability to compile facts and little sayings and quips that are never useful in life except when dad tells them to you.
Yeah.
But they stick with you for a long time. And some of them, I know for me, are like generational. They were,
Yeah.
grandfather said this to dad, and now dad says
Yep.
it, and we have no idea what it means, and then he explains it, and then you find us saying it later on.
Yes.
So it's kind of a circle of life type deal there. But dad sayings are great, and I've got a good dad. I'm thankful for him, and he said some good stuff. So I'll kick it off with this. This is something that my grandfather used to say, and my dad kind of adopted it and would say almost tongue-in-cheek, referring to his dad, and that was the quote, "Trees don't grow to the sky." Which is kind of odd because they kind of do.
But they never reach it.
They never reach it. Trees don't grow to the sky, and that was kind of, you think a lot of times you're going to grab the tiger by the tail.
Yeah.
But things aren't always as they seem, and a good thing doesn't always last forever.
Yeah.
Trees don't grow to the sky. So
Okay.
Man, my
strike while the iron's hot.
my phrases here are a lot less cryptic.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, can you give me...
These are like parables.
Yeah, exactly. That's really not bad at all.
So one that I have that came from my grandfather too is your expenses grow with your income,
Yep.
and it's such a truth, and you don't
Yep.
realize how true it is until you make more money than you used to, and somehow you have no more money.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Your expenses will always grow with your income.
It's unfortunate, but it does happen.
Yeah.
And even as a kid, you can kind of trace that all the way through.
Yeah.
That, man, if I only made this much,
Right.
then you make that.
Yeah. And then you're like, that's
not
not
saving
enough.
any more than I had before.
Yeah, I'm just spending it all still.
Yes.
Like,
Oh, that's so true.
Yep.
yeah, my dad, I don't have necessarily like words of wisdom necessarily.
Yeah.
Like, although my dad's a very smart guy,
Yeah.
I learned a lot from him. But like, I can't put it on like a phrase.
But
that
you
was, like,
forgot it all.
Yeah, I forgot it all because I'm stupid.
Sorry, Dad. Hate to disappoint.
I'm not that smart, Dad. Sorry. Maybe ask my brother. He might be smarter. But I do remember one saying, and it frustrated me so much, but I also laughed at the same time. And it's such a typical dad line. I was a little kid. I'd be like, "Hey, Dad, I'm hungry." He'd be like, "Hi, hungry. I'm Dad."
I'm Dad. Yeah.
There you go.
All the
The
time.
classic dad line.
Yeah.
My dad would do that to me
Oh, man.
constantly.
Yeah.
Too.
So yeah,
Yep.
that was the one thing I remember my dad saying all the time. I was like, oh, you just, you can't
Yep.
do that to me.
That reminds me of one that Dad used to say. He would. What was it? If you made a statement of like how strong you are, and he's like, "Yeah, but smell isn't everything."
Yeah.
It's like, "Oh, thanks, Dad."
My dad was very similar. It's amazing because dads are all somehow genetically related. But it's like when you become a dad, you're like have this fairy dust that's like dumped on you, and you just become like all the other Neanderthal
The
dads.
dad fairy comes
Yeah.
in the night. The rock comes over and sprinkles
the
dust
dad
on
fairy.
you.
But my dad, he used to say, my dad used to say something like that. Someone would be like, "Oh, Aaron, you're so funny," and Dad would say, "Yeah, looks aren't everything."
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Right.
That's it.
Yep.
That was a good one. But one of the things I remember, Dad saying, like, you talk about just like dumb phrases, like they would use. So, Dad, when we were kids, he would always say, "Hey, what you eating under there?" And he would always try to get us to say, "Underwear." And he'd be like, "Underwear? What?" And it's just like, to this day, we'll be sitting, I'm 30 years old, we'll be sitting around a table, and Dad will look at my kids and be like, "Hey, what you eating under there?" And I start laughing, and they don't even get it, they don't know what to say, and I'm just chuckling about it. But that was,
Yeah, that's
he'd
funny.
always try to get us with that.
Yep.
Yeah. It's great to see the same jokes pulled on your kids.
Oh, yeah, it
or on
passes
other people's
down.
kids. Yeah.
And there is a gap now. Like,
yeah.
kids today just don't quite grasp it.
Yeah.
There's too many distractions, I guess, but there's some times where you pull out the dad jokes on somebody and they're like,
Yeah.
"What?"
That's kind of like "What's up, dog?" Or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
does it smell like up dog in here?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
What's up, dog?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, that was one that we used a lot.
Once again, this one's a little bit more in like serious, but I always liked this one because there was always the question growing up of when do I set my own standards? When do I get to set my own standards, Dad? When can I do my own thing? And and he would always tell us, "Well, you can set them today, but you have to follow mine as long as you're in this house."
Yeah.
It's like, okay, fair enough.
If I had a nickel for every time I heard something similar to that.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
One day you'll be able to make your own decisions, but for right now, you live in my house. You abide by my rules.
Right.
If you don't like it, I help you pack your bag.
Yeah.
Right. When
There you go.
it's like you can set up your own rules,
Yeah.
but you
Yeah,
don't get
just-
to live by them yet.
Yeah.
So
Unless they're more strict than mine. I mean, I guess,
grab
Yeah,
you
yeah,
a notebook. Save it for later.
Yeah.
So I don't have necessarily like another like saying, like I said, because I'm dumb and I can't remember things. But whenever when
That's okay. You break up the humor
Right.
for my seriousness.
Right,
I like this little back and forth.
so
we got.
like I got this story that when you're really young, like when you're young, you don't have very good memories, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But as you get older, your memories usually get better.
Yeah.
But I remember
Sometimes.
except for some people. But I remember when I was 4 years old, which is really young to have like really
A
clear
vivid
memories.
memory, yeah.
Right.
But I remember when I was 4 years old, my dad would take me to preschool before he would go to work. And whenever he would drop me off on the way there, we would always pretend that we're racing the other cars along
Nice.
the way.
Yeah.
Did y'all do that the same thing or something?
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
know. It was cool because we had this like little game that we would play where if it was a really big truck that was go slow, we call them blockers, right? Because they would slow you down and you're
nice,
trying
yeah.
to pass everyone.
Shoot the gap. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, and we're like, all right, we're going to try to beat that car before we get to so and so
that
place.
spot,
nice.
yeah.
Before we get to that spot. And so we would do that. And if we never did that, my dad, if we won the race, my dad could turn right out of the parking lot and he could go to work. But if he didn't beat that car, he had to turn left out of the parking lot and go to this place we called Cheaterland, where all the cheater boys had to go. And it's just so funny because when you're 4 years old, like that memory is like, I'm 30 years old. I'm still like, I still see that in my head today.
Yeah,
it's pretty clear.
That's pretty amazing that even at such a young age, you're able to, kind of capture that all in. That's great.
Yeah.
One of the things that my dad would say, once again, it was tongue in cheek that his dad used to say to him, and I never, like to this day, still don't even really understand it or how to apply it. But he would say this: "Don't say whoa in a mud hole."
What?
Don't say whoa in a mud hole.
Don't say whoa.
Can I try to break this down for you? Because I think I get it a little bit.
Okay.
So, like, I think he's saying, like, saying you're riding a horse.
Yes.
And then you land in mud.
Pull up.
It's too late right now. So that's what he's saying.
Yeah,
Like
that makes sense.
when things are getting a little bit sticky, don't slow it down. Just keep plowing through the hard times.
Yeah.
Because if you just lose all your momentum,
Yep.
you're gonna have a harder time.
but
moving.
Oh, yeah, that makes more sense than what I was thinking. Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of what it means.
Yeah.
But
My mind
nobody
went,
says it.
Yeah, my mind went to like exclamation whoa, like whoa, not like whoa.
Yeah, like whoa isn't a horse.
Yeah, right. That makes a lot more sense.
say whoa.
After hearing
Supposedly,
that.
there's a story that like I don't know if it was like my dad's great grandpa or something.
Yeah.
He was a horse and buggy guy, and all that, and he got his first horseless carriage, his first automobile.
Nice.
And he's driving that thing and was going to the bank, and
At like 15 miles an hour.
yeah, and like out of habit, he's like trying to stop it, and he's like, "Whoa, whoa!" And he couldn't figure out how to stop it, and he just drove that thing right into the side of the bank.
Nice.
Oh, man.
Just crashed it.
Well, on the upside, it wasn't going very fast. I'm sure.
No, yeah, and he was conveniently at a place where he could borrow some money to pay for the damage.
Yeah,
Nice.
exactly.
Yeah, so he crashed his car.
Can't get a loan to fix your bank.
Seriously, but anyway, so yeah, don't say whoa in a mud hole.
Nice.
That's a good phrase. That's a good saying.
So I feel like my phrases are not like they're useful.
Right.
But one that I remember, and this comes from a guy who worked a lot of restaurant management. You can't parent other people's kids.
Yeah.
And goodness, isn't that true?
I can't even explain
Your
how
kids,
true that
man.
is.
Yeah. I try to just raise Aaron's kids
Yeah.
for him. He's doing such a bad job. I'm like, I can't do it. Your dad's right about that.
Yeah.
He's completely right.
Well, even as a youth pastor, like a lot of times you get kids that come into church and you're like, you try to help them when they're there, but you can't
By
go
the
home
way,
with them and fix all their
I'm
issues.
gonna make this sound as bad as possible. What happened to your kid's face?
So, yeah, my kid came to church on Sunday with a pretty jacked up face,
Yeah.
or Wednesday night it was, and he took a little spill on the concrete,
Nice.
face first, scraped up his nose.
Would you drop him off the 4-wheeler?
No, so coincidentally, he was being babysat.
okay.
Nice.
And I came home and his face was all scraped up. I was like, oh, looks like it was a good time. So, anyways, yeah, he was,
Whoops.
let's say that first shower after that was not the most pleasant thing.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of hard to keep water from off your nose in a shower.
I haven't had a good scrape in a long time.
Oh, man, come
I used to
hang
get him
out
in
with me
soccer
for a
a
day.
lot. Yeah, I used to get him in soccer a lot, and then my brother and I would take some alcohol,
Yeah.
put it on there.
So we
That's
recently we were at family camp, and all of us happened to be on the same team.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
And we dominated the competition.
We did.
We
Crushed.
kicked some booty. So,
So,
my kids in my youth department say we spanked them cheeks. So,
wow. Yeah.
There's
so
something
we're
more
out there-
graphic about
I know,
that.
right? It's like why do I say that?
You,
way?
you get like that slapping noise that comes with it.
So we're just beating the junk out of everybody at every team sport competition, and we're playing basketball. And one of the things we had to do was, I think all the guys had to. You could only take 3 dribbles, and then you had to pass. And all the guys had to shoot with their offhand.
Yeah.
So it was the most tiring game, and there was like, what, 20 people on the court
Yeah.
almost.
It was crowded.
It was a lot.
It was just like a mass.
Yeah, it was
of
a
people
mob.
playing.
If you had the ball, you got punched and kicked.
Yeah,
and,
it was
and thrown
brutal.
around.
It was
No fouls.
It was terrible. So we're doing this game, and I get the ball, and of course, unfortunately for me, I don't really have like easy mode. It's like super aggressive or nothing. And so I'm driving the ball and like the best I can with my stupid left hand. I'm jumping up and jacking the shot up. Well, like somebody kind of came right underneath me and just took my legs out.
Yeah.
So I'm
Yep.
like 2.5 feet in the air. I know it's surprising.
It's
So I
up
have
there.
that much vertical.
Well, they knocked you up in the air a little bit too.
I came down on my one hand and just, it was like an asphalt court and just
It's
pretty
scraped the junk out of my hand.
There's an audible smack.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, that's going to hurt for a few days.
I was actually surprised your head did not bash into the ground
Yeah.
and start bleeding
Well,
everywhere.
that was because I wrenched my wrist by breaking my fall.
And then,
surprised
like-
I didn't break my wrist.
And then insult to injury, you threw
I
it
didn't
up
even-
a
it
little
went
bit
in.
more with your right hand.
Yeah,
than
and it
with
went
your
in.
left hand.
Oh, that's
And-
right.
And then they called me and they're like, "No, you used your right hand." I'm like, "Come on, give it to me
Yeah.
for the acrobatics."
Yeah.
They were like, "No, we won't give it to you, but
Yeah.
we'll give you the ball."
So then
back."
we played for like 40 minutes worth of
That
the
would have
game.
almost
It was
ended the game
forever.
right there.
Yeah.
And
By the
so
way, did you have all the points in that? Because I missed
No,
my shot.
Lancer had one.
I got
Did you get one?
I got 3.
Did you get 3?
I think I scored 3 shots in that game.
I know.
Nice.
I scored it. I scored one.
Yeah.
And so
I think that was it.
I think that was all we had.
I almost
that's
had
all we
one,
had time for.
but
but it was brutal.
It was tough.
It was terrible.
well, I took a dive on the gravel over there for no reason.
to save the ball.
I literally like launched off the edge of the asphalt and like
even
went to
save
try to-
it?
No, I didn't save it. So it's like totally not worth it.
Oh man, yeah, that was good times.
My eyes were bigger than.
yeah,
they
yeah,
should
you
have been.
kind of overestimated. You bit off more than you could chew
Yeah.
there, but
Worst basketball game ever. There's
Yeah.
no doubt about
it was
it.
really
Yeah.
it was really bad, and I felt kind of bad because there was a bunch of like girls on the other team.
Yeah, my wife was on the court and I didn't see her the whole time.
So there was a bunch of girls, and it was like the pastor's family, and so I'm like, well, I'm gonna
I was
take.
getting punched in the
I'm gonna
back. I
take
don't
it
feel
easy
bad.
on them. Then all of a sudden they're like hacking the junk out of me, and I'm like, forget this,
Yeah.
man. I'm plowing these.
Exactly.
How old is Mackenzie?
Oh, I don't know. She's got to be like 9.
Yeah, she was punching me in the back. Like I had the ball, and like all of a sudden I felt this fist go pop, pop in my back. I was like, "What is happening?"
So yeah, it was a chaos basketball
Yeah,
game.
it
Total
was like
chaos.
no
everywhere.
rules basketball game except for the stupid rule you had to shoot with your offhand. But
Yeah.
in all fairness, they were like so mad
Yeah.
that they lost to us in everything. But they were up like 7-0 on us in volleyball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we were playing to 11, and we came back and beat them.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
they have nothing
Yeah.
to complain about. Now Kyle's team was terrible because
Yeah,
we
well.
just.
Yeah,
I don't even think they scored a point.
Well,
Yeah, that was
they,
a tough-
they had like 15 kids on the court.
It was
It's
it was
pretty
rough.
hilarious.
So now that we've taken you all backstage to family camp, we're back to the podcast studio.
Yeah.
I hope
Yeah.
you enjoyed that ride. That was so random.
Oh yeah.
That was good times though. But anyway, so things that our dad used to say to us. This is gonna sound just super dumb, but being in high school, I played on the basketball team, and basketball was just always something that Dad and I shared. Kind of shared, and my parents are from Indiana, so basketball is kind of king over there.
Yeah.
And so growing up, the movie Hoosiers was a big
Yeah.
thing, right? And before like every high school basketball game, my dad would like say something to me. I'd like walk into the gym and I'm like kind of warming up, and Dad would come over and he'd be standing there and he'd just look at me and he'd go, "Son, kick their butt."
Nice.
And it was just always kind of like that one liner from the Hoosiers
Yeah.
that he would always give me.
What's
right
the
before
main
basketball.
actor's name in that?
Gene Hackman.
Gene Hackman. Yeah, yeah. I like him a
Great
lot.
movie.
Yeah.
Very good movie. Yeah.
It's kind of weird though because he was a little bit old.
Yeah.
And then the girl is a little bit younger.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
Yeah, yeah.
Kind of a Boaz Ruth deal
and-
going on there. It's like,
then
is
you
she
get-
25 years younger than him in this movie?
then you got that kiss scene and you're like, oh, stop it.
Yeah, it's like, I think we need to take this up a notch from G to PG or PG-13 just for that, because it's just sickening. But yeah, it is kind of odd now that you
Yeah.
bring that up.
Yeah,
And-
good movie though. I like it a
And
lot.
she's like almost like not like a godmother, but she's almost like kind of like the older sister over this guy who's like a senior in high school, and she's
Yeah.
like protected. It's kind of odd.
Yeah.
But it's a good basketball movie.
It is.
And there's some great quotes in that movie, and one that Dad and I will always joke about. There's
It
one
is the Mighty Ducks of its day.
yeah, it kind of was. And
Yeah.
you had the drunk dad who would always
Yeah.
talk to his son.
Yep.
And one of the things he would say to him, he says, "Now, boys, don't get caught watching the paint dry.
Yeah. Yep.
And to this day, I still remember that. And we would, stand around with your hands in your pockets. Dad's like, hey, don't get caught watching the paint dry.
Nice.
So, yeah, it's a good quote.
Nice.
Good times.
You got
Nice.
another one, Lancer?
I do not. No.
You don't. Okay. My bad. Didn't mean to hand that to you.
No, like I said, I'm stupid. I don't remember much. So.
All right, I'll do, I guess, one more serious one because we got to end on a serious note. Your actions are your responsibility, and his actions are his, and that was usually when we were inevitably fighting.
Yeah.
You can only control yourself.
Yeah. That's such a note for our political atmosphere.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I won't get too serious.
Yeah.
As we move along
Yeah.
here, thank you, Dads, for all that you've done for us. We love
Yeah.
you.
Yes.
So we're going to jump into a new segment called Where in the World is Lancer?
Where in the world is Lancer?
If you don't love that, there's something wrong with it.
Isn't it great how we announce what we're gonna do
And then re-announce
We're like, we're gonna do some shower thoughts. Shower thoughts.
I think we just have a stuttering problem, and this is how we voice it.
That's so great.
So here's what we're going to do on this. Matt and I have, so we've kind of concluded by his own admission, Lancer is not good at geography.
I'm not. I got
And
nothing.
so what we've done is we've asked Lancer to pick out 15 random countries off the world countries list. And without doing any research,
the list.
there is an official list.
The official one.
It's in the
So you
president-
didn't make the list.
It's in the president's secret book in the Library of Congress. And so, anyways, Lancer picked 3 countries, and he picked 15 of these, 15 random countries, and he picked 3 of them, and he's going to give us 3 random facts out of the top of his head that may or may not be true,
Right.
and we have to guess what countries he is in.
Which country he's referring to? Yeah.
Right.
Where he
So
is.
he's going to give us
yes.
Yeah.
three different countries, and we got, each of us have a shot to get it. So
Yes.
we'll see if we can peg where Lancer is this.
And just to be clear, these are not real facts.
No.
These are facts that I just made up that I think might be true about the country, based solely off the name of it.
Right.
Right. So
No other
Just
information.
whatever's in his head, no research
Right.
whatsoever. Where in the world
So to
is
give it
this?
a very good definition, they're fake facts.
Fake facts. Yes. Not real
That makes
truth.
sense.
And I was kind of hoping, I don't know, you guys got computers. Maybe you can fact check me and see if I'm even close on some of these things.
We'll do our best.
All
Yeah.
right, so I'll start off with one of these countries. All right, so I'm not going to tell you the name of
Just
the
give us
country.
fact number 1.
Oh,
sort of thing?
should we tell the audience what list we're referring from? What the name of these 15
Oh, yeah, sure.
countries
I'll
are?
go through them.
Yeah.
All right. So we have Italy, Malaysia, Malta, Kuwait, Oman, Timor-Leste, or something like that. Jamaica, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, not a band. Aruba, Trinidad and Tobago, Peru, Tunisia, St. Kitts and Nevis, not a band. Saudi Arabia and
Mauritius?
Mauritius.
Mauritius?
Meridius sounds right.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right, we'll go with
So
Mauritius.
those are all real countries.
Yes.
Some of them you might be familiar with. Some of them you might not be.
So
Yeah.
it's kind of like the 50 states multiple choice.
yeah.
So they get to choose from those 15 countries and guess which country I'm talking about.
Right.
All right, here we go.
So-
I'm ready.
So
Fact number one.
Fact number 1. I just had it up here. All right, here we go. I'm going to guess that this country is the 7th poorest country in the world. Okay, that's my first fact that I
So
think.
fact number 1 of country number 1.
Yeah, I think that might be true. Should I go second fact of the same country?
Yes.
I will say they are ruled by an emperor,
Okay.
and I will also say 85% of the population are farmers. So those are my 3 facts that I think might be true about this country solely based on the name of it. So
I have a guess.
you have a guess. Let me go through it one more time. So 7th poorest country in the world. They are ruled by an emperor, and 85% of the population are farmers. Those are my 3 facts about this country that I think might be true.
I mean, sure, I have a guess.
Okay, are we gonna just go set? We've never done this before, so I'm gonna guess first, and then Matt's gonna guess second.
Sure.
Okay.
My guess is Lancer is in Trinidad and Tobago.
Okay.
Okay. I'm gonna go with Oman.
All right.
Oh man.
The correct answer is Oman.
Yeah.
Oman. Wow. What a good
Yeah.
guess right there, Matt.
I don't know why. It just sounded like a farmer place.
Yeah, that's kind of what I thought too. I have no idea. Can someone like do a little lookup on
So the reason
Oman?
why I went with Trinidad and Tobago is you said they are ruled by an emperor. So I figured you were talking about more than one
Okay.
country, and
I
so,
was-
or like
yeah.
or island or something. So then I was thinking, okay, pick one of the ones that has 2 in it.
So
Right.
is Oman in Middle East?
I have no idea. Like
Oh man,
I have no idea.
Oman.
Like, did you just Google like Oman and see if
I'm
it was a
about to.
country?
Oman.
Yeah, I like I said, I didn't even look
Yeah,
at a map
yeah.
for this.
It's in the Middle East. It's
Wow, man.
beside Yemen.
Beside Yemen.
Oman.
All
Yep.
right.
I probably knew that in
I want to see.
somewhere in the cockles of my brain.
I want to see if they are the 7th poorest country in the world, though.
They are not.
Oh.
I think I just saw that it was like Mozambique or something like that.
Oh.
No, I would think that Oman would have a little bit of money just because of oil. fields.
Probably.
Yeah,
Probably.
but yeah,
All right. Well, Matt, wow,
What a good way to
what a
start
great
it, Matt.
guess.
they're probably not farmers either.
All right.
Coming right out of the chute.
All right. So should I go to the second one now?
Yes.
I might have already won right
Yeah,
there.
because this is going to be tough. All right, so this country is mostly villages.
narrows it down.
Yeah, there you go. 30% of the people do not have electricity, and was a former colony of the Netherlands until 1928. It's a very specific fact that I think might be true.
We're gonna need a reread on some of those.
All right, so I think this country in particular is mostly villages. 30% of the people do not have electricity, and was a former colony of the Netherlands until 1928.
Holy moly! Oh, do I have to guess first now?
Yeah, Matt gets to guess first this time.
Oof, none of these fit that description.
I know.
I'm gonna go with Mauritius.
Mauritius.
Yes.
Okay.
I was actually thinking that.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna go with Tunisia.
Tunisia. All right. The answer for this one is Jamaica.
Ah, man. Man.
Jamaica's one of those countries I
Hey,
know
man.
a little bit about, but I don't know like if any of those things are true. I think they might be true though.
The Netherlands deal?
Yeah, I think they were a colony of someone in the past. I'm just going to guess it was the Netherlands.
I don't think it was.
I was gonna say, my guess would be like French.
I was gonna say, well, yeah, French would probably be.
That makes
Good
sense,
guess.
actually. Yeah, that's actually a really good
It was
guess.
under Spanish rule, and following the arrival of Columbus, and then later Great Britain.
Great
Oh,
Britain.
so-
Okay, so
Yeah.
When did they get their freedom, though?
I don't know.
I wanna
that,
see
that
if
sounds
that
like
year-
too much.
What'd you say?
research.
1929?
I said 1928. It was my guess on when they.
1962.
Okay, so I was like kind of far off.
Yeah. Yep.
All right, so
You had the right millennium.
yeah.
All right.
All right,
Last one.
all right. So this last one, I'm gonna say, goat is the main meat eaten in this country.
Okay.
In this country, it is illegal to fly another country's flag, and the life expectancy is 56 years old. These are all guess facts that I think might be true.
My goodness.
Just as true as the other ones.
So they eat mainly goat.
Yeah.
You can't fly a flag of another nation, and people live to 56, and then they die.
On average, yeah.
Oh.
My goodness.
Ooh.
Remember, I know nothing about any of these places.
I know.
We've heard that.
I'm.
Okay. Yeah.
So Aaron's
Am
up
I
this
up
time.
first? I'm gonna take Kuwait.
Okay.
I'll take
Okay.
Kuwait.
It's a decent guess with the goats.
Yeah, no, that's all I was thinking of.
I was thinking about Middle East for this, but I don't know. I'm gonna go Peru.
Peru?
Yeah.
Okay. The correct answer is Kuwait.
Yes!
Nice.
Wow. So we're sitting here at 1-1. Do we need to go to final deathmatch round?
Yes.
All right, because I got stuff for all of these.
To
really.
the death.
We could go for 15 countries if you want. But,
Oh, man. Here we go. Give us one more. See if we can break
let's
the tie.
see here. This is for all the marbles. If no one gets it right, I win.
Yes.
All right. All the land is technically considered oceanfront property.
Okay.
The president serves a 2-year term before it gets reelected. And the national...
It's an alien president.
Him, she, shim. And also the last fact is the national animal is the barracuda. I don't know if any of those are true, but... So,
Okay.
So you've got this kind of narrowed down here.
I do have it kind of narrowed down, and
You got the
Man.
first guess.
yeah, no. There's 2 that I'm going at.
Do
I'm
they
gonna-
both start with the same word?
Maybe. That's one of 3 that I was thinking, and I'm gonna go with Saint Kitts and Nevis.
St. Kitts and Nevis, all right?
Yeah.
I'll go with St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
Yeah.
Okay. You're both wrong. It's Malaysia.
Oh.
That's what I'm thinking Malaysia is like. So,
You're probably close.
I was gonna say that might be a little bit close.
yeah, what's the national animal of Malaysia? That might be an easy Google search right there.
National.
I'm going to go with the sugar glider.
Sugar glider.
It's probably like some primate or something.
the Malayan or
Malaysian sun
Malayan
bear?
tiger.
The tiger.
Oh.
That makes sense, I guess. They have tigers. That's cool.
Yeah. So you get to live on an island with tigers.
Where is Malaysia, by
That's
the way?
dangerous.
It's down by Indonesia.
Singapore.
Where is
closest.
that?
So go to India,
Okay.
go south
Okay.
to the ocean,
Near Vietnam.
and then you want to
Thailand.
kind of, if you're going towards the South Pole, you want to hang, what, a left?
Like go.
Yeah, I mean, like you're south of China.
Okay. I know China.
Yeah.
China.
China. All right, so Lancer wins.
I win.
Where in the world is Lancer? The very
Way to
first time we
go.
ever did. I'm excited about this segment. It's got potential.
I mean, I got a lot more here.
That was good.
Oh,
Hey, at
man.
least we got 2 of them right.
Yeah.
So
That's actually really impressive. Out of 15.
I didn't think we would get any of them right, to be honest.
I was really surprised I got the first one. I
I
was
thought we were
like,
just gonna
whoa.
get skunked. But man, we ended up pulling it out there. So
All right, before we kick off into our final segment of Shoot from the Hip, we just want to remind you to go over and check out our new sponsor, Movie Munchies. So are you wondering what to watch on a Friday night? You're spending way too much time browsing the new releases to find nothing you want to watch. Done that way too many times. So let me tell you about my friends over at Movie Munchies over on Facebook. Movie Munchies is constantly updating their page with fresh reviews for movies available on streaming sites or in the theaters. Not only do you get a great synopsis of those movies and the movie details, but you can digest it in about 5 minutes, which is kind of a bonus. I don't want to. You ever look at movie reviews and you're like, I don't want to read a book,
Yeah.
Right.
it's gonna take years off my life.
or I don't want to read like a professional review where they're looking at like shot for shot everything.
Right.
Yeah, these guys don't do that
That's good.
because they're not producers. So these guys are going to give you something that is a little bit entertaining and is a lot more. It's a lot easier to digest.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah. So you can read them in like 5 minutes or less, unless you read really, really slow, or you read like Lancer, which we established in the last podcast. So you can learn about the movies you want to see, or find out about movies you should see. They give you all the information you need to pick out your next movie, and they make it entertaining. So swing by Movie Munchies on Facebook, pick out your next movie, and leave them a like to stay updated on new arrivals. We appreciate their support for this podcast, and we'd like you to support them for supporting us.
Check them out.
Give them a shot.
Support, support, support. All right, so let's move on to our final segment, dad jokes.
Dad jokes.
Can't get any better than dad jokes.
I was waiting for dad
Hold
jokes.
on, you want me to do it real quick?
Okay.
Dad jokes. There we go.
That
Well
was
done.
legit.
Oh,
Oh man.
All right, so who wants to kick this off? Because I feel like I've got longer ones. I don't want to.
Okay.
I don't want to monopolize.
I got
this.
those like typical like one-liner question
Yeah.
answer
So I was
dad
gonna say
jokes.
some of the dad jokes. Some of them are actual questions. Some of them are more like a very very short monologue.
Yeah, yeah.
So it just depends on which.
Let's not do any like moth jokes, like Norm Macdonald moth jokes that are like 10 minutes long.
We'll try
Yeah,
to
we won't
stay
do
away.
that.
Let's try to stay away from those.
Yeah.
All right, so I'll start us off here. It's one of those like just question answer. So
Yeah.
what do mermaids wash their fins with? Tide.
Nice.
Oh, that's a good one right there. Oh man, love that.
I feel like we need a little music behind this. Do we?
Yeah. Let's put a little something in there.
I don't know if this will fit or not, but does this work?
We need like that.
What's our intro? That
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Hold up. The you mean the
the Mario music.
the Mario one? Okay. Yeah. Hold on. Oh wait.
Yeah, that's the one.
We got this thing with like Trump in there in the beginning.
yeah.
Trying to skip past that. There we go.
Yeah.
All right. Here we go.
All right.
Yeah,
What-
so that was really
this is
entertaining to
Dad's
listen to.
joke music.
Yeah,
Yeah.
There we go.
What do you call a fat psychic? A fortune teller.
Nice.
Wow.
Oh, that is so good.
Or another thing you can call a fat psychic, a large medium.
Nice.
Terrible.
So, I really like the one that Pastor does. He does it way too often, but I'm like sorry, I have to sort it out in my mind. But he says, "Man, I'm like the butcher that backed into his meat grinder. Got a little behind in my work."
a little behind in my work.
I love that.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good one. Did you hear about the kidnapping at school?
No.
It's fine. He woke up.
Wow.
That'd be a good one for a public school.
Yeah,
That's a good one. Yeah.
that's pretty good there. Oh
like that.
man.
Do you want me to go with another one, Matt,
Yeah.
before you throw your long
Yeah,
one?
yeah,
in there?
go for it.
All right, here we go. So, did you hear Steve Harvey and his wife got into a fight? It was a family feud.
Nice.
Oh man.
All right, so there were these two cavemen. Nate was a lot stronger than Andy. Andy was a smart guy. And one day they came back to their hut, and a large boulder was just blocking their entrance. They couldn't get in, but Andy had an idea, because, he's a smart one. And Andy said, let's put a stick under the boulder, put it over a smaller rock, and leverage it, and we'll call it a lever. And they tried this out, and it almost worked. You had Nate, Mr. Strongman, just like working on it, but the stick broke. Nate broke the stick. So Nate gets really frustrated, Mr. Caveman, and just chucks the boulder out with just pure strength. The moral of the story is better Nate than lever.
Oh man. Better
Wow.
Nate than lever. That's pretty good. I got to give you that. Better Nate than
Not
lever.
bad. Not bad.
Did you know that the shovel was a groundbreaking invention?
That's so good.
Sometimes it's just the little ones that get you.
Just
we
a
had
little
a
thing.
conversation about shovels one time.
I
What
forget
was
what it was about.
It was like someone said, like you can cut the earth in half with the lightsaber.
Oh, the lightsaber, and yeah, you can cut it with a shovel too. That's true. That's definitely true.
Here's another one for you guys. Did you hear about the superhero with the lisp and always worked out? He's Thor.
that's like that's a genie joke right there.
Oh, that's a good one right there. Oh man, this is one of my favorites. What do you call a man with a rubber toe?
I don't know.
Rubber toe.
That's very dad.
Oh, that's
dad
so
joke.
good.
Oh,
Man, I love that one. Oh man, I got so many of these. So just tell me when to stop.
I got a few more here too. All right, so here's one. What kind of car does an egg drive? A Volkswagen.
Oh
What's
my
a
god.
very dad joke?
Such a dad joke.
Matt, what you got for us?
All right, so we all know Mahatma Gandhi.
Oh yeah.
Mahatma Gandhi was a little bit of an interesting guy. He walked barefoot everywhere, to the point that his feet became really thick and hard. He often went on hunger strikes, and even when he wasn't on a hunger strike, he didn't eat that much, and he became, really thin and frail. He's also a very spiritual person, but also he didn't eat much, and when he did eat, his diet was a little bit weird, so he developed a really bad breath. So, like we all know, he became known as a supercalifragilistic hexahalitosis.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was a lot of work. in that one.
Supercalifragilistic hexed by halitosis.
Yep.
That's pretty good.
That's one of my dad's favorites for sure.
That is very daddish too.
Yeah.
To come up with this elaborate story.
I don't know how he like remembers it off the top of his head because it takes me a while to like work through everything.
You go through the process.
I had to have that written down.
Man, that's a good one there. I'll say this to the man in the wheelchair that stole my camouflage jacket: you can hide, but you can't run.
Nice.
Oh
Hey,
man,
how about this one? Why did the birdie go to the hospital? He needed a tweetment.
I was gonna guess he had the flu.
Oh, that's not bad either. Yeah, I like it.
Oh man, that's pretty good. I had a couple other ones on here that were pretty good. What do you call a Mexican who has lost his car? Carlos.
I was going to say escargot, but
That'd be the French guy. Who
I
lost his
probably
car.
have some really good like inappropriate ones, but we'll keep
You know,
those up.
I wouldn't buy anything with Velcro. It's total ripoff.
Yeah, nice.
I like it. You know, I actually wrote a song about a tortilla the other day. Actually, it's a rap.
Oh, that was good. I like that one.
Yeah.
You know, I don't play soccer because I enjoy the sport. I'm just doing it for kicks.
Hey.
Figured you'd enjoy that, Matt, as a resident soccer expert.
Oh, by the way, did y'all hear about the guy who fell, or the guy named who fell down the stairs? He be tripping.
He gone. Oh, man. Let me see here.
You got any more, Aaron?
I tell you about the time I fell in love during a backflip.
No.
I was head over heels.
Yeah.
Or heels over head. Or both.
I got a.
I've never understood that. Head over heels. Isn't that how you live?
That's just like normal.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know how old I was. Okay, it's going a little bit off the topic here.
Yeah. Just
But
do it.
but you know how old I was when I realized that it was a joke. You know, you got to learn the 3 R's: reading, writing, and arithmetic.
Right.
And only
Yeah.
one of those starts with R.
Yeah.
I was like 28 or 29 when I realized, like, wait a minute, this is a big old joke. So,
Yeah.
Whoops. That one just sailed right
Yeah.
over my head. What about this? 2 goldfish are in a tank. One says to the other, "Hey, do you know how to drive this thing?"
I like it. I like it.
Nice.
Here's my last one. Did you hear about the hungry clock? He went back 4 seconds.
You know why skeletons, they don't ever go trick-or-treating.
What is that?
They have no body to go with.
Oh, man.
That's pretty good.
That's kind of like why didn't the skeleton cross the road? He didn't have the guts.
Oh, yeah, he didn't have the guts.
I knew that
yeah.
one. I didn't want to steal your
Yeah,
thunder,
yeah,
though.
yeah.
Yeah, that was a good one.
I figured both of y'all knew that one. But
Yeah.
What do you call a fake noodle? An impasta.
Nice.
See, dad jokes are basically just really bad puns.
Yes. Yeah.
I love
Yeah,
it.
here, one of my favorite dad jokes is, what did the egg say at the party?
What?
Omelet.
Wow.
We love dad jokes. I mean,
Wow.
if you don't love dad jokes, I mean, I don't know what to say to you
Yeah.
because I think they're hilarious. But once again, I am a dad.
If you don't love dad jokes, you should at least love dad.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the moral of this story.
Yeah,
Happy late Father's Day.
I keep going through
fathers.
looking at these jokes, and I just want to laugh at all of them. Oh man, good times. Well, fathers, thank you so much for all that you've impressed us with in life. You are the ones that inspired us to do great things, like sit at a table and read dad jokes on the internet.
Yeah, let's be honest. Like, dad jokes are kind of what this podcast is built of.
I would agree. Yeah,
It's that kind of mentality.
Just ridiculous humor that doesn't really. It's not really that funny,
If not,
but it is.
If not for dad, we wouldn't be doing this podcast
That's true.
because we wouldn't be born.
yes, we owe it all to you, Dad.
All right,
true.
well, thank you for listening to this podcast. Be sure to tell your dad Happy Father's Day, and give him a call.
Buy him something nice.
Yeah,
if
yeah.
you haven't already. because it's late.
Hey,
That's
if you haven't,
true.
Dad's not going to care too much. As long as you get him something,
Yeah.
even
Right.
if it's late. He's going to be like, yeah,
Oh yeah, whatever.
Pretty great.
Oh yeah, it was Father's Day. That's right.
I forgot about that.
Dads are usually pretty easy on that one. But thanks again for listening to this podcast. Be sure to subscribe wherever you're listening, whether you're on SoundCloud or iTunes. Go ahead and leave us a rate and review over on iTunes. That would help us out a ton. And be sure to follow us on social media. We are on Twitter at HipShot Podcast, on Facebook, facebook.com/shootfromthehip podcast, and on Instagram, HipShot Podcast. So be sure to follow us on any one of those. Have we posted anything on Instagram in like a month?
We do have some followers on there. I know
Yeah,
that.
we do have a few
That's good.
followers.
So thank you to those people, but
Yeah, thanks for following.
I'm following a blank page.
Yes. Well, be sure to just follow along on everything else.
Be a big surprise when it's on Instagram. You just never know.
And we should have some postcards possibly arriving at people's homes at this point.
Should be there.
Yeah,
That'd be awesome.
would be great.
So,
If not, resend us the address. It'll probably get returned.
yeah, and some might be hand delivered because we see these guys.
Some of them.
Some of them. All right. Well, thank you again for listening. Be sure to go ahead and follow Movie Munchies over on Facebook. They are our new sponsors, and we really appreciate them supporting this podcast. So go ahead and give them a little bit of support too. All right. Thank you for listening to the podcast. Hope you guys have a fantastic day.
We'll see you.